but I think it's possible.
I definitely think it's one of those fan theories that's fun to discuss and talk about. The actual likelihood of it, probably not, but it is. I think it's fun to address it and talk about it and say, yeah, maybe, but it's something that was a scene in the movie that doesn't actually happen in the book. And so I know the other side of it is that, no, he was just doing that because that's just the example of him being the nasty little bad Malfoy. He would rip a page out of a book because he has no concern for authority or others or anything like that.
Right.
So I think we should just find out what this page that may or may not have been from Malfoy has to say.
Right. It's a description of a creature named a basilisk. King of the serpents. It's made by hatching a chicken egg under a toad.
That's really weird.
Yeah. Deadly fangs and murderous stare. That's its weapons.
Wait, hold on. Back up. How do you get a toad to sit on an egg?
Magic.
Okay. Yep. You got me there. There's that science and physics thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, why?
Yeah.
It wouldn't.
Nope.
But, yeah, I gotcha. Okay. Continue.
Everybody who sees the murderous stare dies instantly. Spiders flee, and the crowing of a rooster is fatal to it. And under it, Hermione wrote, pipes.
It's a big, giant, scary serpent, and its kryptonite is a rooster crowing.
Mm-hmm. Because that makes sense.
So you couldn't have one in the country, like anywhere. But
it's born from a chicken egg.
Under a toad. And I could wrap my head around that. What I can't wrap my head around is if a rooster crows, it dies.
Yeah, but it's born from a chicken egg.
If its dad crows.
Yeah, that's what I was going at.
Yeah.
Seems super fragile, but we're all missing the most important point. Spiders don't like it. So I want to adopt 5 of these things, and I want them all over my house.
That's what I was going to ask, Nate. What would you rather have, a 50-foot king snake or a 40-foot giant tarantula walking around?
Keeping in mind that you can't look at the
Can't look at it.
snake, yeah.
And you also have to speak parcel tongue. You'd have to learn a language.
Which I can't do. And that's actually a point that comes up in this chapter, too, that I wanted to make. But no, I'll take snake all day long. It's still going to kill me. You know, at the end of the day, they're both going to get me. But I feel like a snake would probably get it over with, and I'm cool with snakes.
You have chosen.
They don't scare me. Spider, I couldn't do. Of course, it'd be painless because I'd black out first.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Harry figures it all out. The monster is a basilisk. I mean, he didn't really figure it out. Hermione figured it all out. Harry just read the paper and went, oh, she figured it out. But he speaks Parseltongue. Nobody else does. That's why he can understand it. Yes, Nate?
I'm sorry. This is what I was referring to just literally 30 seconds ago. He asks people that are with him, did you hear that? And they say no, but he can understand Parseltongue. That's why he could understand what the snake was saying, but that's literally a snake making a fucking noise that he can understand as words. Other people should have been able to hear the snake being like, "Sss," you know what I mean?
Yeah, they should have been like, gas leak, right?
Yeah. Because you can understand the language, like, he would have been saying these things out loud, right? Or was it just beamed directly into his head?
No, I think he could hear it, just like you could hear me, or like...
Okay, yeah, then I stand by my argument. Other people should have been able to hear.
Yeah, they just couldn't understand it. It was just...
Right, but he's like, you hear that? And everybody says no.
It's a valid point.
it was a thing, but it caught my attention, and I pondered on it today for like almost a half hour. I was like, wait, they should be able to hear it.
I mean, it's not a small... it's not a small snake, so it's... They should have been able to hear it. It's not
Yeah.
I
quiet,
would imagine
for sure.
it's not going to be small. It's the king of the snakes.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it's not really a spoiler. It's a monster. So nobody's died yet because nobody's looked it in the eye yet. Colin got the camera, Justin through Nick, Hermione and the Ravenclaw had the mirror, and Mrs. Norris looked in the water.
So they all got off light.
Yeah.
Or lucky as fuck.
Yeah, basically.
It didn't mention this in the paper that she had in her hand. So I'm wondering, is this going to be like newfound information on basilisks? Like, oh, if you see it in some other way other than directly in its eyes, you don't die. Now you're petrified. I'm wondering if this is like going to be new information then for everyone.
Yeah, I don't know if it was new information. They didn't say they flipped it over to see what was on the back or anything.
Oh, true story.
Read only one side. Drop paper and run. Did you read the instructions on the back? What?
But Ron suddenly wonders if the entrance is in a bathroom. That's my boy, Ron. He's thinking.
Super smart.
Yeah, see, Harry just repeated shit that was on the paper. Ron was like, hey man, pipes. Guess where pipes are? Bathrooms.
Actually thinking.
Yes. They think maybe Moaning Myrtle's bathroom could be it, just because, you know, it's the only bathroom they know that's special. They decide to go to the staff room to see McGee, and the bell for break never comes. That's what they're waiting for. They're just, like, hanging out in there, because, you know, kids do that all the time. They just chill in the staff room.
I would like to point out that this is probably the first time that they are attempting to do the smart thing and tell a grown-up.
Right? For the first time. Maybe not even the first time, but they get super close here
Yeah.
with the wrong intention.
I was going to say, for a second.
Or at least tell a competent grown-up.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
For a second, because as soon as they hear McGee's voice echo through the halls, telling everyone to return to their dormitories and teachers to go to the staff room, they decide they're going to hide. Instead of just standing there and going, you know what, I have important information for you, I need to tell you.
Pretty sure the importance of the information that I have supersedes the fact that I'm not technically supposed to be in your teacher's lounge,
Right.
but I think it's pretty pressing, so hear this, and please don't be mad.
Right.
And he'd probably be fine.
It's such a weird thing that they're like, you know what, we're going to hide. And
Hide!
and then once we find out what it is, then we'll pop out and tell the teachers what we have to tell them. Like, they're going to be so much more pissed that you hid in the closet and listened instead of just telling them. Like, it doesn't make sense, Harry Potter. Calm down.
We had mentioned this. I don't even know if this made it on air, but we had mentioned this earlier. There are the feet that are going,
Oh, yeah.
the two A's in the closet.
Yeah.
Was that in the teacher's lounge?
Is it Harry and Ron?
Just saying. Is it them that's in the closet?
Making out in the closet? Is that what you're implying?
Oh, I don't know.
just throwing that out there into the universe. But one thing they learn is that Ginny has been taken by the creature.
Into the chamber.
Into the chamber. So even worse. And I thought it was notable that all the teachers in the room look drained. They're all sagging down and, leaning on shit. It's hard. It's very heavy in the room. And Ron does the same thing inside the closet. He sinks down to his knees like, ugh, it's hopeless now. They have Ginny.
Yeah.
It's as bad as it could possibly fucking be. First they got my girl. Not my girl, but, the girl I don't like. And now they have my sister. So Ron he's not in a good way.
No. And McGee says the students are all going to have to go home tomorrow. It's the end of Hogwarts. It's done.
No exams.
Woohoo!
Silver linings, right? Especially after they get the news that the heir has left a message under the first one. Her skeleton will lie in the chamber forever.
Yeah, it's super cheery.
Yeah.
But hey, fuck it. No exams. Summer! It is June.
Lockhart bangs into the room, and all the teachers look at him, like, with a look of hatred in their eyes.
Stink eye.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of it.
And they all band together and are like, oh yeah, you wanted to deal with this yourself, huh? It's back. So here you go. You have free reign, Fucking deal with it, bud.
You're the guy, right? Go fucking be the guy.
I loved that they all chipped in on it. Like Snape, Sprout, they were all there for each other. Like, yeah, mm-hmm.
Well, you were saying you know where, and you know how, and you know who.
Well, and we get the feeling, especially during the dueling scene, Snape fucking hates this guy.
Yeah.
And he was waiting to take a shot at him, which he did successfully. And so when he gets in on it, no, he's like, no, fuck you. I'm with them.
Yeah.
I'm weird, but you're the problem.
McGee tells everybody else, now that he's out of the way, we have to go deliver the news to everybody and make sure that there's no kids left out of their dorms. And then cut to Harry and Ron back in the dorms, because at this point, apparently, it's not important to tell the competent teachers what you know.
Right. They were there. Like, they were there.
Yeah.
Ron's too distraught, apparently.
If you hadn't hidden, they would have seen you right away, and you would have been there to tell them, hey, I know some shit. Because you hid, they were probably in there with all the teachers. Then all the teachers left. And then they had to sneak out because it would have been way too embarrassing to, like, open the closet while everybody's in there and be like, hey, so
Yeah.
I was hiding. By the way.
Fatal flaw in the plan, I tell you. So it's the worst day of his life. They're all sitting. They have nothing to say to each other. Percy sent Mr. and Mrs. Weasley a letter and then shut himself up in the room. And Fred and George went shortly after. It's too much for everybody at this point.
They feel like their suspicions are confirmed that she did, in fact, know something because it was her that was taken. So they think that she had some information about the chamber, and that's what got her taken, basically.
Yeah, because she's a pureblood.
Why would it take her?
And Ron asks Harry if there's a chance that she's not, dead. And Harry doesn't say anything back because he's pretty sure she's dead.
Well, it's been a minute now.
Yeah. Why else would it take her?
A few hours at least.
And it said skeleton. Skeleton means dead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 I forgot about that. Skeleton would imply dead.
So Ron is like, you know what? Let's go see Lockhart. We have to tell him he's going to go see the monster. We have to tell him what we know. So they get there, and he's busy packing all his shit because he got an urgent call, and it's time to go.
Oh, Andy's a little bitch.
He's running scared, like a little bitch.
I like that these two 12-year-olds put that together.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have known that unless they were in the room when they heard all of the teachers tell him, your problem now. Now they just happen to go to his room where he's packing up his shit. If they weren't at that meeting and walked in and said, oh, you're leaving, there would be much less accusation behind it.
Yes. Yeah. They're like, what the fuck? You're the Dada professor, man.
Yeah, you're the fucking dude. Go be the dude.
And he says, well, this wasn't in my job description, so I'm going to take off. It's fine. Harry's like, what about all the shit you did in your books? And he's like, books can be misleading. I love the way that Harry's like, you fucking wrote them!
Yeah.
And the truth comes out.
He's a fucking fraud.
Yeah, they wouldn't have sold as good with those guys on the covers. Doesn't matter what the fuck they did, so he stole it.
You knew it at the Whomping Willow.
Yeah.
He walked out perfectly clean, and Sprout was dirty and all beat up because she was doing the work.
Right.
Right away in the book, it was like, hey, this guy, he literally does not get his hands dirty. Just so you know.
Well, except put in jail then.
Oh, that's a good point. That shit gets everywhere.
His hair has to be coiffed.
Well, Harry accuses him of just stealing credit, and Lockhart's like, it's not that easy. I had to find, interview, and memory charm all these people. And memory charms are his thing. He's very, he's good at this. It's not all book signings and photos. I mean, to his credit, not only did he have to do that, but he did also have to, actually write the books. Unless he paid someone to do that.
I feel like Lockhart's one of those guys who would tell one of his interns, be like, hey, you, write this down. So there I was. You know?
Why wouldn't you just be able to go recordos?
That's true.
And then have them tell their story as it's writing.
I'm sure there is some type of magical implements that could help you with that. But also, I feel like you probably could find certain people who did cool shit and be like, hey man, I'm going to use your story for 10% or some shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That would have been way easier. But whatever. Lockhart decided to be a dick.